Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and welcome back to another good, bad, and ugly for this week in WWE. For you that I'm gonna review one segment per thing, so it's a good thing from Raw and SmackDown, and a bad thing from Raw and SmackDown, and an ugly thing from Raw and SmackDown this past week. And the way the ugly part works, well, all of them work at least. The good thing will be the best thing that I saw from this week's Monday Night Raw, under my opinion. The bad thing is the worst part, in my opinion. And the ugly part is, well, of course, it was neither good or bad. It was okay. It was just meh. So it was just plain ugly. So, with that said, we're going to move on to Monday Night Raw, and we're going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly on Monday Night Raw, starting now. And the good thing to come off of Monday Night Raw this week was the tag team title match, where the Revival took on the Glorious Ones for the Raw Tag Team's titles. And it was a really good match, I'm going to say the least. And, I mean, there was some good technical wrestling in this matchup. Some really close falls. There was times where I thought the Glorious Ones, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, were going to retain their titles. And there were times where I thought we were going to get new tag team champions. And by the end of it all, indeed, we had new Raw tag team champions in the Revival. I mean, you talk about bloody time. I mean, seriously though, that was one of the best matches. I mean, yes, I think it was like halfway through the Monday Night Raw, but it was, in my opinion, the best thing that happened on Monday Night Raw this week. It was good to finally see the Revival, finally get that chance. And maybe to headline WrestleMania as the Raw Tag Team Champions. I have a feeling they might end up defending it on the kickoff show, or against maybe the Glorious Ones, and maybe again on the kickoff show of Fastlane as well against some other team. But apart from that, they're gonna have a really good run and then go on to I'm hoping the main show of WrestleMania this year, where they end up facing Curt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, and then finally Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins get a big win, especially for Curt Hawkins. But yes, I really enjoyed that part of Monday Night Raw this week. It was indeed about time we got a new tag team champions in the Revival, in fact, no less. So, yeah, I like the Revival, and I like the team of the Glorious Ones, as I call them, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. But I would like to see maybe a meltdown between those two, that, starting off with losing the tag team titles. Maybe then have them, I don't know, they start to lose confidence in each other, and have Bobby Roode turn heel and have the match against Chad Gable at Fastlane or something. I don't know. And maybe we can get Bobby Roode to turn heel eventually. Because as much as I like them as a tag team, I know that something may come from that. Not too sure what. But yeah, the Glorious Ones versus the Revival, and the fact that we got new tag team champions, that was the good thing from Monday Night Raw this week. And I will go on to the bad thing that came from Monday Night Raw. And that bad thing, well, is gonna happen on the 5 minute and 5 minutes. And the bad thing to come off of that was, for Monday Night Raw, was at the end, really. We got see at the beginning. I'm going to start from the beginning. Started off really well. Yeah, the bad thing was, and I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, it was Charlotte Flair replacing Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. And how she replaced her is, I don't know why Vince McMahon chose her to. I mean, the whole process, the whole going through, from last week, so you gotta apologise, if not, you're suspended. She got suspended, she apologised, and she saw the doctors, and she's able to go to WrestleMania, and she's fit to go to WrestleMania, she has no injuries, and both Triple H and Stephanie forgave Becky Lynch for doing all this, and Vince McMahon's like, well, no, you're going against the man here, you're going against me, you're going against the WWE, and all this stubbornness or whatever it is she was doing. So he was like, oh no, I'm gonna suspend you for 60 days, which takes you 5 days, and which means that suspension will be up 5 days after WrestleMania. God. And the man your replacement for will be no other than Charlotte Flair. And just that whole why? I do not know. Now, yes, it's gonna be a triple threat match at WrestleMania between Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, somehow, some way. But just to spring it out there without her maybe gaining access in any other way, just by being a Flair, being fed that championship opportunity when she lost against Ronda. Well, she didn't lose, she lost it and beat her up and survived the series. It's just like, come on, you can't do that. And the fact that Ronda Rousey is slowly being booed out the building like Roman Reigns used to, I mean, it's nuts, it's crazy. It wasn't even good enough to be like, why? It wasn't good enough for me to put it as an ugly. It was bad. Wasn't bad booking, it's just a bad way of the fact that, Becky Lynch apologized and all that for nothing. Just for her to get out of a suspension for 60 days. I can't put my head around it. It's stupid. And they shouldn't have done it, really. They should have at least gave the whole, maybe Charlotte beat Becky, she was added to the match on SmackDown type deal, perhaps. Then it would have made more sense. But this, Vince McMahon choosing Charlotte and saying, yeah, you're replacing her at WrestleMania. I'm like, the fans don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see the man, Becky Lynch, WrestleMania, giving an ass whooping to Ronda Rousey. I mean, because she's on SmackDown Live at the moment. We can't have a Raw champion on SmackDown Live. Then, if that's the case, then draft her over to SmackDown. At Raw, I'm sorry. I mean, come on, it's just... Breathe, Daniel, breathe. The whole thing was stupid. It's leading up to a triple threat, we all know that. But it was just the way it was delivered. Not the triple threat match itself. I don't mind that. I'd love to see those three go at it. Not much as I'd love to see Becky versus Ronda. I just think they could have done it a little bit better. So, for the fact that they could have done it better, that was my bad thing that came from Monday Night Raw this week. And I will go on to the ugly moment. And the ugly part of Monday Night Raw this week was, the Elias concept. He kept on getting interrupted by promos and interviews that happened on the Titantron. And just as it was about to do a song, he got interrupted by the Lucha House Party, who, for some reason, was there. And the fact that they were just there, I mean, it was just ugly, okay? Just Elias being interrupted and interrupted like a normal stick, like normal. But why Lucha House Party? Is it going to set up for a match between Kalisto and Elias next week? Perhaps. I mean, he just whacked Kalisto with the guitar saying, oh yeah, you're pretty good, when it was obvious because it was in the corner. The extra guitar was in the corner. I mean, I don't know what to think about that. it was just like, yeah, there was no point to it. There was no it could have not have been on Raw, and I wouldn't have cared if it was. It's like one of those things where I look back and think, why was it there? It was like meh. Like there was absolutely no reason for it. So other than the fact that, you know, everyone pops for Elias, regardless if he's a heel or if he's a babyface. So, you know, it's Elias, and Elias needs something to do. So if that means smacking around the luchadors with his guitar, then so be it. So yeah, that was okay, I suppose. It was kind of boring and pointless, but hey, it was an Elias segment, and I want to walk with Elias. So hey, that's what WWE stands for after all. So who wants to walk with Elias? I do, I suppose. So did the Lucha House Party, but they got a guitar over the head for their thanks. But that was Monday Night Raw. That was the good, the bad, and the ugly of Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to move on to SmackDown Live. And as I'm going to go to the 12-minute, 32-second mark, maybe even the 35-second mark up there, and I'll do that now. SmackDown Live. And SmackDown Live, ladies and gentlemen, the good, bad, and the ugly for SmackDown Live, starting with the good thing that came from that. And the good thing that came from that was indeed the last match itself, the Gauntlet match! My God, it was brilliant. I mean, we have some bad news from the fact that Mustafa Ali is injured because Randy Orton injured him by mistake last week on SmackDown Live, and he's got a black eye. And I think he also was meant to go through the table, but the table did not break. So I think the fact that Raw may have injured him even more, but the fact that maybe his back or something maybe hurting him too. So he is not medically cleared to go to Elimination Chamber. So therefore replacing him was one member of the New Day. Who was that one member of the New Day? Who pretty much did an Iron Man in that Gauntlet match? No other than Kofi Bloody Kingston. He was the main event star in that matchup. And it's got a lot of people thinking that maybe, just maybe, after he had this will be, technically speaking, his first elimination time inside the chamber. Not his first ever chamber match. Well, actually, second Elimination Chamber match. But entering the Elimination Chamber as a singles competitor, if that makes sense. Because way back when, he was supposed to be inside a Elimination Chamber match, but got taken out by Edge, and of course never got a chance to be in an Elimination Chamber match until really recently, a couple of years ago, when he was in that first ever tag team Elimination Chamber match, where all three members of the New Day were there. So it would be nice to see Kofi Kingston win the WWE Championship and go onto Fastlane and defend it against either AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, whoever. But yeah, that Gauntlet match was just good. I mean, the ending itself was pretty quick, and I'm surprised that they made AJ Styles look weak by getting hit with one RKO out of nowhere. Which, yes, an RKO out of nowhere can be deadly, but AJ Styles wasn't that injured, or didn't really do that much to finally eliminate Kofi Kingston. Which it just surprised me is all. But other than that, the Gauntlet match itself was brilliant. With Samoa Joe, being eliminated early in a quick style fashion, after beating Kofi up some more. With the fact that Jeff Hardy tried his hardest to beat him, missing the Swanton Bomb and everything, and just Kofi Kingston in general. He was brilliant. Just his entire run in that Gauntlet match. That's what made that Gauntlet match so special. I really enjoyed the Gauntlet match, and I enjoy any Gauntlet match for that particular reason. And with that being said, I think we're going to have to go on to the bad thing, or what happened on SmackDown Live this week. And then the bad thing to come off of SmackDown Live this week was the Charlotte Flair promo. It was just like, it was just basically a repeat. It was just her telling the fans that she was going to WrestleMania and Becky Lynch wasn't. That was it. That's all the promo was it was about, pretty much. You know, there was no interruptions from Becky Lynch. She's suspended for 60 days. She'll be back before then, by the way, but she'll be back. Trust me, she will be. But yeah, it was boring. It was like, I'm going to WrestleMania. You can boo me on if you want now. And like, okay, don't have to rub it in. We already done like the fact that you replaced her in the first place. I'm going from like my bad moment from Monday Night Raw. You know, it all ties in. You know, the Charlotte Flair promo. It just wasn't great. It was like, again, could have done without. I mean, yes, it would have explains a lot, but not really. It's like, what did you expect her to say? Apart from, ha, told you so. I'm gonna be at ringside when you face Ruby Riott at Elimination Chamber, and all that type of, you know, crap and stuff. And just, I was like this. Because there was no point to it. I mean, yeah, it's good storytelling there for the fact that she's a brilliant heel, but I just couldn't focus. It was just one of those promos that was pretty much, oh, okay, is that it? Is all you gotta say is to badmouth the fans and take loads of heat, and that it? Is that what you was there for, just to take loads of heat? Oh well, you know, couldn't do much about that, only given so much to work with. But yeah, that was the bad thing in my opinion that came from SmackDown Live this past week, and I'm gonna move on to the ugly thing that happened on SmackDown Live this week, and and the ugly thing to come off of that SmackDown Live this week was, in course, McMiz TV. I liked it. It was funny. It was good to see, you know, Shane McMahon with his little grey hair and the Miz as the tag team champions, and the fact that they're going to defend their titles against the Usos. And, you know, yeah, but it was just the backwards and forwards thing was like a bit, you know, talking about quiche and their favourite food and favourite basketball team, and the fact that they were, that Miz and Shane McMahon were pandering to the crowd. It's like, oh, okay, so they had it. Apart from the double super kick at the end, taking out Shane McMahon and Miz, it was like they thought that when the Miz was talking about quiche, as in the food, they thought they were talking about Rikishi, the nickname for Rikishi, Big Quiche. Which, of course, it's like, they could have had much better material to work with there. So it wasn't really that great, to be honest with you. It was okay to watch. I wouldn't want another McMiz TV. I would much prefer to see this title reign to be very short-lived, and maybe to have the Miz face Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, but that's just my wishful thinking. So yeah, McMiz TV was the ugly part there. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but the rest of SmackDown was fine. It was really good. I enjoyed it. There was just a couple of bits here and there that I thought were pretty much ugly. The main ugly thing was McMiz TV. The Usos going backwards and forwards and with McMiz. I don't know. Bored me a little bit, but at the same time was a bit, ooh, you know, like, ooh, the insults here and there. Yeah, talking about Maurice, talking about, you know, Rikishi, talking about, you know, Mandy Rose and stuff. But, yeah, that was good, bad, and ugly from SmackDown Live, and In fact, that was the good, the bad, and the ugly for WWE this week. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll come back to watch another good, bad, and ugly video. But let me know in the comments, what did you think of this week on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live on WWE this week? Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it ugly? Let me know in the comment section below. And I am Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on the Xbox Live. And until next time, and good, bad, and ugly, bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.